Sir, you need to leave this property immediately.
Excuse me? I live here. This is my home.
I got a call that you're trespassing. You match the description of a suspicious person.
Suspicious? I am the homeowner. This is my house.
Homeowner or not, you're leaving. I need to see your ID now.
I'm providing ID.
But you are violating my rights in my own home.
Officer Kevin Bryant had been with the Seattle Police Department for 13 years. In those 13 years, he'd accumulated 25 formal complaints. 21 of them involved black men he'd accused of trespassing, breaking and entering, or not belonging at residential properties in affluent neighborhoods. A black homeowner entering his own house was detained for suspicious activity. A black man checking his mailbox at his condo was questioned for loitering on private property. A black father playing with his kids in his own backyard was investigated for trespassing. A black businessman unlocking his own front door was handcuffed for attempted burglary. A black retiree sitting on his own porch was told to leave because neighbors didn't recognize him. Every complaint ended the same way. Property records confirming ownership, internal review that cleared Bryant, bias training he attended but ignored, written warnings that accumulated but meant nothing, union protection that blocked any real consequences. One Tuesday evening in Seattle, his 13-year pattern of assuming black men didn't belong in wealthy neighborhoods finally confronted someone who'd worked 2 jobs for 15 years to buy his home, had every document proving ownership, and wasn't going to accept being treated like a criminal at his own front door. That confrontation would end Bryant's career, cost the city $2 million, and expose a department that had ignored 25 complaints over 13 years. Marcus Jenkins, a 43-year-old IT manager, was standing on his own front porch in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, unlocking his front door after a long day at work when a police car pulled up and an officer stepped out aggressively. His house keys were in his hand. His work laptop bag was over his shoulder. His mail was tucked under his arm. No crime, no break-in, no trespassing, just a homeowner arriving home. But Officer Bryant saw him through a lens so warped by racial assumptions that he couldn't process a black man with keys at a nice house as the legitimate owner. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Hit that subscribe button. These stories need to be told. Seattle, Washington, Capitol Hill, one of the city's most desirable neighborhoods with historic homes, trendy restaurants, and young professionals. The area had undergone significant gentrification over the past decade, with property values soaring. Marcus's renovated craftsman home was worth over $900,000. It was 6:45 p.m. on a Tuesday evening, temperature 62 degrees, overcast skies. The street was quiet as neighbors were inside having dinner after work. Marcus Jenkins had been an IT manager at Microsoft for 12 years, managing a team of software engineers and overseeing network infrastructure projects. He'd graduated from Howard University with a degree in computer science, then earned his master's degree from the University of Washington while working full-time. He'd worked 2 jobs for 15 years, his day job in IT and weekend consulting work, to save money for a down payment on a house in Seattle's expensive real estate market. He'd finally purchased his Capitol Hill craftsman home 8 years ago for $485,000, putting down $120,000 he'd saved. He'd renovated it himself on weekends. New kitchen, updated bathrooms, refinished floors. The house was now worth over $900,000. He was proud of what he'd accomplished through hard work and sacrifice. That evening, Marcus had worked late finishing a critical server migration project. He'd left the office at 6:15 p.m., stopped to grab his mail from the cluster mailbox at the corner, and walked to his house. He climbed the steps to his front porch, set down his laptop bag, pulled out his keys, and was inserting his key into the lock when he heard a car door slam and an aggressive voice. Do you think officers should verify property ownership before confronting homeowners? Drop your answer below. Officer Kevin Bryant had those 25 complaints over 13 years. 21 involved black men at residential properties in affluent neighborhoods, a pattern so undeniable that multiple supervisors had recommended his termination, community groups had demanded his removal, and internal affairs had flagged him as a severe liability. But the police union had successfully blocked every disciplinary action, arguing that Bryant was simply vigilant about property crimes. His personnel file was thick with complaints from homeowners, neighbors, and community advocates. One internal affairs report specifically noted his pattern of assuming black men in nice neighborhoods were criminals rather than residents. Yet he remained on patrol because the system protected him. That evening, Bryant was patrolling Capitol Hill when he received a call about suspicious activity. Someone trying to break into a house on East Roy Street. The caller, a new resident who'd moved in 3 weeks ago, had reported seeing a black man lurking around a house. Bryant arrived within minutes and saw Marcus standing on the front porch with keys in his hand. "Sir, you need to leave this property right now." Marcus turned, startled, his key halfway into the lock. "Leave? This is my house. I live here." "I received a call about someone breaking into this residence." Marcus looked down at his key, then back at Bryant, confused. "Breaking in? I own this house. I just got home from work. I'm unlocking my own front door." "Can you prove you live here?" Marcus gestured at the key in the lock. "I have keys. I'm opening my own door. Everything else is inside. My ID, my deed, my mortgage statements, my mail with my name and this address. I need to see identification before you enter that house." "My identification is inside my house, in my wallet, on my kitchen counter where I left it this morning." "Then step away from the property." Marcus felt his frustration rising but kept his voice controlled. "Step away from my own house? Officer, I work at Microsoft. I'm an IT manager. I've owned this house for 8 years. My neighbors know me. You can verify everything." "Sir, I'm not going to ask again. Step away from the property or you're under arrest." "Under arrest for unlocking my own front door? Should homeowners be arrested at their own homes without verification? Let me know what you think." A neighbor walking his dog stopped on the sidewalk. "Officer, that's Marcus. He lives there. He's owned that house for years." Bryant ignored him. "Sir, final warning. Step away from the door and put your hands where I can see them." Marcus slowly removed his key from the lock and raised his hands, his laptop bag sliding off his shoulder. "Officer, my name is Marcus Jenkins. I work at Microsoft. I've owned this house for 8 years. That neighbor just confirmed it. You can check property records. My name is on the deed. This is my home." "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "For what? What crime have I committed?" "You're under arrest for trespassing and attempted burglary." "Attempted burglary of my own house?" Bryant grabbed Marcus's arm and forced it behind his back. Marcus didn't resist but spoke clearly. "I am not resisting. I am Marcus Jenkins. I own the house at 1247 East Roy Street. I've owned it for 8 years. I'm being arrested on my own front porch for coming home from work. This is unlawful." The neighbor with the dog was on his phone now. "I'm calling Marcus's emergency contact. This is ridiculous." Bryant handcuffed Marcus, the metal tight on his wrists. He walked him down the porch steps toward his patrol car while Marcus continued speaking. "I'm an IT manager at Microsoft. I purchased this house in 2016 for $485,000. I've renovated it. I pay my mortgage and property taxes. My neighbors know me. I'm being arrested for being black on my own property." More neighbors were coming outside now, several recognizing what was happening. "That's his house," one shouted. "He's lived there for years." Another confirmed. "This is wrong," a third yelled. One neighbor ran to get the contact information for Marcus's sister who lived nearby. Bryant placed Marcus in the back of his patrol car. Through the window, Marcus could see his front door standing open where he'd partially unlocked it, his laptop bag sitting on the porch, his mail scattered on the steps. He could see neighbors gathering, pointing, some recording on phones. He was handcuffed in a police car outside the home he'd worked 2 jobs for 15 years to buy. The drive to the station took 18 minutes. Marcus spent it thinking about the $120,000 down payment he'd saved, the weekends he'd spent renovating, the pride he felt owning his own home, the lawsuit he would absolutely file. They arrived at Seattle PD's East Precinct. Bryant walked him inside, still handcuffed, past a desk sergeant who looked up with concern. "Bryant, what's the situation?" "Attempted burglary suspect from Capitol Hill. Caught him trying to break into a house." The sergeant frowned. "Caught him how?" "He was at the front door with keys trying to get in." Marcus spoke up, his voice calm but firm. "Sergeant, I'm Marcus Jenkins, IT manager at Microsoft. That was my house. I own it. I've owned it for 8 years. I was unlocking my own front door when Officer Bryant arrested me. I have keys to the property because it's my property. Property records will show Marcus Jenkins as owner since 2016. This is my home." The sergeant's expression changed. "You own the house?" "For 8 years. Purchased it for $485,000. It's now worth over $900,000. I renovated it myself. My neighbors know me. One of them tried to tell Officer Bryant I live there. He ignored him. The sergeant looked at Bryant. Did you verify property ownership? He couldn't provide ID. Because my ID is inside my house where I left it this morning when I went to work. Did you check with neighbors? Look at property records? He looked suspicious with keys at that house. The sergeant pulled up King County property records on his computer. Within seconds, he found the deed. Marcus Andre Jenkins, owner since June 2016, purchase price $485,000. He turned to Bryant with barely controlled anger. He owns the house. County records confirm it. You arrested a homeowner on his own front porch for unlocking his own door. Within minutes, a lieutenant arrived. Jennifer Walsh, a 20-year veteran who'd been trying to get Bryant removed from duty for years. She reviewed the situation, spoke with the neighbors who'd witnessed the arrest by phone, confirmed the property records, and reviewed Bryant's body camera footage showing Marcus with keys at the door. She approached Marcus, still handcuffed. Mr. Jenkins, this arrest was completely unjustified. You're being released immediately with our deepest apologies. She turned to Bryant with cold fury. You arrested a homeowner at his own house for coming home from work. Property records prove 8 years of ownership. Neighbors confirmed he lives there. You had zero probable cause. Badge and weapon. You're suspended pending termination. Bryant protested. Lieutenant, I was responding to a burglary call. You arrested a man with keys unlocking a door to the house he owns. You didn't verify ownership. You ignored neighbors. You've generated 25 complaints in 13 years, 21 involving black men at properties they owned or rented. You're done. Badge, weapon, now. By the next day, the story was spreading across news outlets and social media. Marcus's neighbors organized a support rally on his front porch. Microsoft's CEO issued a statement supporting Marcus. The Seattle NAACP demanded immediate action. Local news interviewed neighbors who described Marcus as a valued member of the community. Video from body cameras and neighbor phones showed the entire arrest. Marcus filed a comprehensive lawsuit 6 months later against Officer Kevin Bryant, his supervisors who'd ignored 25 complaints, and Seattle PD. The allegations were extensive: false arrest without probable cause on his own property, false imprisonment, trespassing by Bryant on his property, violation of Fourth Amendment rights, racial profiling and discrimination, violation of property rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress, deliberate indifference to Bryant's documented pattern of bias. The complaint included Bryant's complete record: 25 complaints over 13 years, 21 involving black men at residential properties, multiple supervisor recommendations for termination blocked by union protection. Seattle's city attorneys found no defensible position. Property records proved 8 years of ownership. Neighbors testified to his long-term residency. Video showed him using keys at his own door. Bryant had made no attempt to verify ownership. The pattern of complaints showed deliberate indifference. The city settled 16 months later. $2 million paid to Marcus Jenkins. Officer Kevin Bryant was terminated 8 weeks after the incident. The termination letter was damning. Officer Bryant arrested a homeowner on his own front porch for unlocking his own door with his own keys. He had no probable cause. He ignored property records, neighbor verification, and physical evidence of legitimate residence. His pattern of similar conduct over 13 years demonstrates an inability to serve without racial bias. Employment terminated immediately. Bryant's name entered the National Decertification Index. His 13-year career ended. Marcus testified before Seattle City Council. I'm an IT manager at Microsoft. I worked 2 jobs for 15 years to save for a down payment. I bought my house 8 years ago. I renovated it with my own hands. I've paid my mortgage faithfully every month. I know my neighbors. I'm part of my community. And I was arrested on my own front porch for coming home from work because Officer Bryant saw a black man with keys and assumed crime. He paused. 25 complaints in 13 years. 21 involving black men at homes they owned or rented. That's not law enforcement. That's treating homeownership as suspicious when the homeowner is black. Your department documented it. Supervisors recommended termination. The union blocked it. I paid the price. He continued, $2 million doesn't undo being handcuffed outside the home I worked so hard to buy. It doesn't erase my neighbors seeing me arrested. It doesn't restore the feeling of safety I should have at my own front door. Seattle PD implemented reforms. mandatory property verification before any trespassing or burglary arrest, automatic investigation at 3 complaints, body camera review for all property-related encounters, prohibition on arrests at residences without verified complaints from actual property owners, community. Partnership programs. Why do departments wait for 25 complaints instead of 3? Comment your thoughts. This wasn't about one Tuesday evening. This was about tolerating Kevin Bryant for 13 years, despite 25 complaints showing he assumed black men in nice neighborhoods were criminals. Bryant's career is over. The city paid $2 million, but that came after 13 years of warnings. Comment if homeowners should have absolute protection from arrest on their own property. And if these stories matter, hit that subscribe button. We're exposing systems that ignore patterns. This isn't about one officer or one homeowner. It's about the right to be safe in your own home without proving you belong there.